Hi Nicole, how you going, love? I am doing well. It's afternoon for me, so how are you doing? I'm just sharing out the post, so give me a sec, guys. Okay, just about done. 8:20 in the evening. So I'm guessing you're probably around EST time zone, right? Eastern coast of the US, I think. Did that pin? Good. All right, so welcome everyone. Oh, I just need to fix this. It seems to be up a little bit high. There we go. So welcome, say hi as you're popping in. If you do not know me, my name is Christine. I'm a spiritual activation mentor, and today let's chat about intuition or guidance versus ego. And do you know the difference? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Oh, I was trying to like get a drink from the spoon as opposed to the straw. So do say hi as you're popping in, guys. Throw out some of those love hearts. I always like seeing those. And please do share the post. Let's get some people in here to have a chat. I'm not going to be doing any past life readings or activations today. I just want to come in and have a chat. I'm needing to preserve a little bit more of my energy because I do have an injury at the moment. And I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon for my foot, which I'm pretty sure is a little bit dislocated. So I'm just trying to conserve some energy for that. It tends to, you know, not be so bad in the mornings, but in the evenings and if I'm on it too much, it does tend to get quite sore. So just a couple of things that I want to say before I get into this discussion. If you've not yet joined my free soul community, my Facebook group, head on in there. It is Temple of Golden Souls. I'll pop a link in the caption now. Hi Phyllis, how you going, love? All right, so you can see the link there, facebook.com/groups/Temple of Golden Souls. If you are not in there, get in there. I've just posted, or I created an event today for our monthly group session. So every month I will do a free group session exclusive to members of that community. And this month we'll be doing, later this month, it is the 23rd if you're in like the US side of the world. If you're on my side of the world in Australia, it will be on the 24th. And we'll be doing a Connect to Your Higher Consciousness session there. It's totally free to attend the event, but you do need to be a member of that soul community. So head on in there. It's free to join. I don't often provide, actually I've never provided a replay for one of these before, generally just to protect the privacy of those who attend and anybody who chooses to share in depth about their experience, because we have a discussion at the end, and I chat you through things if you've got any questions. But since I've launched my subscription options, I will actually be providing an edited version of the session to my selected tiers of the subscription. So it will be from the, I believe it's the Soul Shifter to higher tiers there. Nicole, oh, that sounds awful. I've just seen your comment. You know what? I saw your comment and I looked at it and I went, oh, are you saying the session sounds awful? But then I realized I was just talking about my foot. So I'm going to assume that you are talking about that. It's actually not that bad. It's more inconvenient than anything else. If I stay off it, it's generally not that bad. I mean, it aches a little bit, but it's nothing unbearable. The problem starts to happen when I have to, you know, put a lot of weight on it, as in like walking around. And I got up on a chair to reach something and I totally forgot about it. And I jumped down and landed on that foot. I used that foot to land and I was like, oh my God, terrible idea. So it was aching a lot after that. But I do have my doctor's appointment this afternoon. So we will hopefully know exactly what's going on there and be able to, I really don't think that there's going to be much that they can do about it, honestly, even if it is like, even if it is dislocated or perhaps even a fracture. I know I've spoken to so many people now who've like heard about my foot, and then they tell me, oh, you know, I've broken like toes or this part of my foot, and there was literally nothing that they could really do about it, apart from like rest and ice and keep off it. So we'll have to see how it goes. I've been having to get, Chica's not here at the moment because she's gone out with Captain K9, her dog walker, because I can't take her out. So I've had to like organize her to go out more with the dog walker. Some of my friends have been taking her out where they can, which is really cool. But that has totally upped my expenditure. Like, Chica, just like a child, I imagine, because I don't have children, takes up a load of my money. Nicole, yes, was talking about the foot. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I reconciled that in my mind too before like I said anything else, because I was like, oh, does she really think the session sounds awful? So yeah, all right. Anyway, now that we've got a few, oh, actually, no, I was just telling you guys about my subscription thing, because the replay for the session, the Connect to Your Higher Consciousness session, I will be providing that to selected subscription tiers. If you guys want to get in on that or check it out, I'm going to pop a link in the comments now. Whoops, it's not the right link. Hello, Renee. How are you going? Thank you for joining us. Since you're new to the page, welcome. My name is Christine. I'm a spiritual activation mentor. Today, we are going to be discussing intuition / guidance versus ego. If you could share the post out, I would appreciate that so much. Thank you for being here. And I was just talking about my free soul community, my Facebook group, Temple of Golden Soul. So there's a link in the comments. It's also in the caption if you want to join up. We are going to be doing later this month, well, every month actually, I offer my community members a free group session, and this month it will be to connect to your higher consciousness. So if that's something that you want to attend, it is exclusive to the group members. So get on in there. If you can't attend on the date, I don't usually provide a replay, but with my new subscription options, I'll be providing an edited replay to my some of the subscription tiers selected. So I believe it's the Soul Shifter tier and upwards if you are interested in that. Anyway, let's get on to this chat about discussing intuition and guidance versus ego. So whilst we get started on this, is there anyone currently in here who does have trouble determining whether messages or thoughts or anything like that, feelings that they are having, do you have trouble determining whether or not they're ego or if they're intuition and perhaps guidance from your spirit team? Let me know in the comments if you do. What we're going to discuss today as well is very general, all right? But it will apply for the most part. There are exceptions to everything, okay? So if you are listening to what I'm saying, even participating in the discussion, feel free to comment if you are like, well, no, that's not me, because then we can discuss it. Otherwise, you can feel free to message me afterwards. Also, feel free to add me as a friend if you like. Although you can only see the page, but if you go to the page, you'll be able to see who I actually am, like where my profile is. So do make sure that you say hi as you pop in, guys. I always love to know who is here and to interact with you. If you've got any questions, pop them into the comments. So let us talk about ego first, okay? Now, and pop into the comments as well if you want to share what you think ego is. Renee, I do notice if it's intuition, it's quick and instant pending the thought. Beautiful. That is, one of the signs of intuition, and I will come back to that. I really love that you've commented that, Renee. So ego is really, it stems from basic survival, all right? So we actually, as human beings, would have benefited from ego a long time ago, before technology, before we had stable housing and all that kind of stuff. It's really about basic survival. So if you think, I don't know, like if you think BC times, really, when you were sort of battling the external environment, like, maybe you were sleeping out in the woods and you might have to run from a lion, we don't generally have to do that these days. I mean, again, there's exceptions to everything, so there will be people out there that are doing that, so they'll be utilizing their ego a lot more effectively, so it will be effective for them, whereas for most of us in society today, ego tends to not be quite as useful for us. Hi Summer, how you going, love? Hello Darlene. Hello, last week you gave me a past life reading and told me I was a 20-year-old female who died in 1812. That's interesting because I often don't tell people the year of their death. I don't remember the reading at all, Darlene, so you may be correct there. I just got test results from my doctor and found out I have a liver problem. Oh, I'm sorry, Darlene. I'm sorry about that. Nicole, when I'm guessing you mean I as opposed to it. When I get messages from spirit, they come in similar to my real thoughts, but with almost a knowing. So sometimes it is difficult to differentiate. Okay. Summer, like a defense mechanism, kind of, yes. But a defense mechanism is really something that is only beneficial in like one situation, if you think about it, because it would be a situation in which you need to be defensive. But you know, back way back then, ego was sort of much more effective across our entire lives. But it's not so much practical today. Let me see. Darlene, of liver problems. I'm not sure what you mean, Darlene. Okay. And in regards to ego, ego and intuition come from two very different places. All right. So ego emanates actually from your brain. Right? Ego comes from your brain, specifically your prefrontal cortex, which is around here, just behind your forehead. And this rules your things like decision making, planning, and moderating behavior. All right. So ego can actually still be of some benefit to us. All right. One thing that you will probably notice about ego if you start to think about it, and if you really start to dissect it and reflect on it, is that ego doesn't often, the way it presents itself today, doesn't often live in the moment. It tends to live in either the past or the future, very similar to how anxiety does. Okay, anxiety is barely ever in the moment. It is anxiety is usually rooted in past thoughts, or not necessarily past thoughts, like thoughts about the past, and thoughts about the future, as opposed to thoughts of in the moment. Summer, I felt amazing the past few days. I don't know why, but I've just been on top of things and I'm super motivated. Great, good to hear. Run with that. Do as much as you can with that. And figure out what made you get there in the first place. Now, in regards to ego and this, I believe, was it Renee? Yes. So this goes back to what Renee was saying. It also it touches on what Nicole was saying in the comments there. Ego often comes directly after your intuition. Okay, I'll say that again. Ego often comes directly after your intuition. Intuition tends to be instant, okay? It will be the instant answer that you hear or feel or see or experience or whatever. And then ego is the thing that comes in right after that to go, oh, is this a good idea? Do you think you should be doing that? You know, that second guessing that you feel, that questioning yourself that you feel, that tends to be ego. So like I said, that touches on what both Renee and Nicole were saying there. So if you think of all the times where you have second guessed yourself, where you've had this amazing idea or thought or whatever it may be, and then something's come in to go, oh, well, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if that's such a good idea. Maybe this is, you know, maybe I haven't thought this through so much. Maybe I need to wait. All those things, they tend to be ego. Okay, now, like I said, I am just generalizing here. So there will always be exceptions to everything, all right? But for the most part, ego is second guessing. It's the part that comes after your intuition, directly after it. All right. So now when it comes to intuition, the difference between, like, one main difference between ego and intuition is intuition only knows how to experience love. Okay, now if you're sitting there going, yeah, but you know, I had a bad feeling about someone and it turned out to be right. Yes, that is your intuition, but that is still coming from a loving space. Yeah, that's your intuition going, this is probably not that good for you. This isn't in your highest interest. So that's why we're taking you away from this person, yet we still send them love. Right? Does that make sense? And as I was saying before, your intuition tends to be immediate. Right? It's the immediate thought that follows a question. It's those immediate things that pop into your mind. All right, but the tone of them tends to be gentle and loving and encouraging you towards living your best life, experiencing more love. Renee, it's still a loving place by helping you. Yes, exactly. Exactly. But what we don't want to get confused here is sometimes people can confuse their ego with intuition. And I'll give you a direct example of this. For example, jealousy, right? Some people will mistake jealousy for intuition, not realizing that it's rooted in an insecurity. For example, okay, if me as a female, okay, as a woman, oh gosh, I know that some people don't like saying female. I have no idea why. Like, I get it, but still, it's a word that we use. So as a woman, right, if I were to have a partner, a male partner, and there was another woman that, you know, was close with him, was his friend, okay, and maybe I've got some insecurities that makes me go, I don't know if that girl is any good. That's coming from ego. That's not necessarily coming from intuition. And here's why, all right? So if you're in that situation and you're going, I don't know if this girl's any good, like I wish she'd just fuck off, blah, 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 that kind of stuff, that can tend to come across a little bit nasty, all right? And we have to be authentic here because obviously, more often than not, we won't say those things out loud. So we have to be authentic with what's going on in our minds in order to reflect authentically on ourselves. So if it's coming from a somewhat nasty place, like, oh, I wish you'd just drop dead, fuck off, like, you know, all this kind of stuff, that tends to be ego. Whereas if it's more, she's trying to get my man, I wonder what's going on with her. She must be hurting, right? She must be in pain. See how they've got two different tones, but it's still the same situation? That's how we can differentiate between ego and intuition. Okay, and like I said, and I will keep repeating it, you know, there's exceptions to every rule. So that may or may not apply if you are in that situation. Hi, Laurie, how you going? All right, so for anybody just jumping in, let me just do another quick little introduction. If you've not seen me before, welcome. My name's Christine. I'm a spiritual activation mentor, and today I'm just discussing intuition and guidance versus ego. Which one are you experiencing? Do say hi when you pop in. I love to know who is here, and we all know that Facebook can be a bit jerky sometimes and not give me who is actually here, and it can be a bit laggy, so do just say hi. Renee, that's a great way to see and notice. Yeah, and you will find that that can be applied to everything. If it sounds nasty, if you wouldn't want to say it out loud because it sounds nasty, that is likely ego, right? But if it's coming from a loving place, if you're recognizing that someone is hurting, then that tends to be more intuition. And I'm going to write something down here because I'm getting guidance that I need to talk about this, but in regards to what we're talking about, but it's just a little bit of a different thought line, so I'm going to save it for a sec. I am going well, thank you, Laurie. I'm going really well, apart from my foot, of course, but you know, it could be worse, and it ain't that bad, to be honest. So I am going just dandy. I should also let you guys know as well, I'm probably not going to be on as long as I normally am today. Like I said, I've got a doctor's appointment this afternoon. I do have another client this afternoon, and Chica is currently out with her dog walker. She's probably going to come back real dirty, so I'm going to have to give her a shower. Otherwise, she's not going to be allowed to lay anywhere in the house. So if she does come home, I'm not expecting her home for a little while longer yet, but if she does come home, then I will probably have to go fairly soon after that. So just to let you guys know. All right. Now, before I said that ego tends to emanate from your brain, okay, that prefrontal cortex there. Your intuition emanates from a completely different place. It tends to come from your heart center, your heart chakra. All right. So often you will feel it in your chest. Now, a good way to think about this is when you experience love, all right, whether it be for your partner, for your family member, for a friend, for your pet, because, that happens too. Me with Chica, of course. Do you guys have you ever experienced that, that warm, fuzzy feeling that you get in your chest, right? The next time you experience intuition, okay, and it's intuition, try to consider where you're feeling that, where it's coming from. When you think about when you have a lot of compassion for someone, where do you feel that? You tend to feel that in your heart center, your heart chakra, in the middle of your chest. I'm not talking about heart pain, okay, guys? If you're experiencing pain on the left side where your heart is meant to be, that's probably not intuition. You may need a doctor. Okay, so just telling you the differences here. Let me see. Summer, I've been trying to be more understanding to why certain people do certain things. They could be hurting or something happened in their past. Yeah, exactly. We never know what someone else is going through. And don't get me wrong, I still have my ego moments where I'm like, oh my God, just piss off. I still have those moments, guys, and I still need to check myself. Remember, life is a lifelong journey. Yeah, and we are all works in progress. I'm human, just like you. We're just at different points in our journey. Renee, I get that feeling with spirit. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely you would. And so you guys will have heard me do activations before. If you've heard me do activations before when I give you guys light codes and light language and that kind of stuff, that very much feels and comes from my heart space. Okay, that's how I know that that's what's coming in, as opposed to just randomly blurting out stuff. You know what I mean? So next time you experience something and you're trying to ask yourself if it's intuition or ego, really try to feel into it. Ask yourself, where is this coming from in my physical body? Because that can give you a good indication of where it is. What it is. If it feels like good and warm and fuzzy and it's coming from your heart, it might not even feel good, okay? It might feel a bit sad, but coming from your heart. Like when you're letting someone go because you know that it's the right thing for you to do, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't experience a little bit of sadness, but you will still feel that in your heart area, right? Or if it feels like it's coming from your brain, if you feel like you're giving yourself a headache because of, thinking about something a lot, overanalyzing, for example, that comes from ego. That's not intuition. Okay, and I'm certainly not saying that you can't think about things. All right, but this conversation is very much limited to intuition and guidance versus ego. All right, intuition and guidance does not often live in the conscious part of your brain. Right, so they're the basics of the difference between intuition and ego. I mean, we could get much more in depth with it, but like I said, I'm not going to be on this live for all that long. So if you've got specific situations or anything that you want to comment, pop them into the comments here. I'm happy to discuss it. If you've got a situation where you're not sure whether or not it was ego or is ego, and you're comfortable with sharing it, pop that into the comments too. I'm happy to discuss this with you guys. You guys, if you follow me, if you've been on my lives before, you'll know that I like to be interactive with my comments as opposed to just blurting out a whole bunch of stuff. So the thing that I wrote down here, because this is something that I've gone through a lot lately, all right, blocking people on Facebook, all right? Does this come from intuition and guidance, or does it come from ego? Realistically, it can come from both. It depends on the situation and the individuals involved. All right, now for me personally, I've had to, and I still do, I've had to block quite a lot of people. But it often takes me a little bit to block people. I can be quite trigger happy, particularly if I know, like, if they're poaching on my lives, if they're trying to scam me in my messages, all that kind of stuff. I'm really quick with the block button. However, for the most part, I do, I do tend to give people leeway, because I just think about all the things that could be going on in their life, all the ways in which they could be hurting, so maybe that one act or one behavior or one moment doesn't reflect them as a whole in that moment. Does that make sense? Because, behaviors and actions and all that kind of stuff, one behavior or action will never define a person. However, if they're doing that one behavior or action every single day of their life, then it can define them. Yeah. So anyway, in regards to blocking people, I always ask myself, where is this coming from? All right. I tell you guys to constantly ask questions and reflect on yourself and what's going on with you. So I do the same. I practice what I preach, guys, 100%. So I ask myself, where is this coming from? Is this coming from an insecurity, or is this coming from my intuition? And then I'll delve into it a little bit. Okay. Now keep in mind that reflection is different from overanalyzing. All right. If you feel like you're overanalyzing, you probably are overanalyzing, and you've probably gone beyond that intuition space. So if that's the case, you probably need to just step back from a little bit, breathe, right? Maybe do some meditation, and then go back into reflection mode. Okay. But when it comes to blocking people, I tend to reflect quite a lot. All right. Now, I've recently had to block someone. Actually, I've recently had to block quite a few people that I thought very highly of. And sometimes when we think highly of someone, okay, if we've got them up on a pedestal or something, we can tend to block our intuition a little bit. Our intuition might tell us something, and then we'll go, no, that's just ego. We need to be careful of that too, right? Even if you are really well in tune with your intuition. Oh, I can hear someone. Hello, baby. Hello. Oh, she's home. She's home and she's dirty. Hi, baby. Hello, did you have fun? Did you have fun? All right, Mama's just going to be a few minutes, okay? All right, so that's basically my cue to have to go soon. But I'll stay with you for a little while longer, guys, and I will finish this example that I was talking about. So I've had to block quite a few people. So yeah, I definitely try to reconcile that. Now, that's right, pedestal, that's what I was talking about, sorry. So what I've had to do with those people is go, is this benefiting my life to have them in here, right? Or to have them as part of my little circle? Is every time they interact with me or I interact with them, is that bringing my energy down? How do I feel when I see them pop up? You know what I mean? Those can be really important things to get in touch with, right? So when I was coming up with answers such as, okay, yes, this person is bringing my energy down. My intuition is constantly coming in to tell me this isn't good for you. But I'm ignoring it, thinking that it's ego. What does that do for me? How does that benefit me? Does that nurture my connection with my intuition, or does it break it down a little bit? They're really good questions to ask yourself. And then what you need to do is to have faith in your decision and back that up. Yeah, something happened to me the other day on a live, like someone that I had blocked had come into the live, and I could see them commenting and stuff. And I wasn't nasty to them or anything, but they did happen to comment, oh, I think she blocked me a little while back. Because weirdly enough, I should say, if you block someone on your personal profile, it doesn't necessarily block them from your page, which is a bit silly because it's like an extension of you, really. Anyway, they mentioned that in the comments. And I know that some people would feel really uncomfortable in that moment and go, oh, fuck, or they might just ignore it. I addressed it. And I said, well, I'm sorry that happened, but you know what? I protect my energy fiercely, and there would have been a damn good reason why I did that. Right? So back yourselves, guys. If you're choosing to make a decision because of your intuition, don't feel bad about it. Back yourself. It's not like you're saying to that person, I want you to go and die. No, not at all. You're just doing something that's good for you. And no one can really be mad about you for that, especially if they could be mad at you if you do something that's good for you, but then you're also an asshole, right? Do what's good for you, but do it with love. You can block someone. You don't have to hate them, right? Stacia, hello. Thank you for sharing. Right in time to see Chica. Yeah, you've got Chica radar hard. I really think that you do. But you're coming in at the back end of this, because I did say that I was gonna leave shortly after Chica got back, because she definitely needs a shower. It's been raining here and she's a little bit dirty. So she's gonna have a shower before I have my next client and end up going to the doctors and stuff. Okay, S-coded. You're going to get blocked. If you did accurate readings, you would have known that. Not really, but Bye-bye. There you go. And if you guys ask why I do that, if I block people like that, is because I choose to protect my community very fiercely as well. I feel like people that come in and do that, more often than not, and again, exceptions to everything, but more often than not, they tend to be a scam, and I don't want you guys to get scammed. If you do want to contact that person, if you want to PM them, please, by all means, do go ahead. But yeah. How do I block them from my actual page? Ban from page. There we go. Ban from stream. Ban. Everything, ban. Okay. Oh my gosh. What's going on here now? Whoop, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm having trouble getting back after doing all that. Okay, here we go. All right, there we go. Hello, Christina. How you going, love? You're just coming in at the towards the end of the live. I am going to get going soon. We've been discussing intuition and guidance versus ego. Okay, let me just double check. Stacia, had he said accurate reading, I may have been more interested. I know, right? I know. Goodness. Renee, sorry, hun, I missed your comment up here, so I've just seen it. I'd love to know if it was my intuition when we decided on a property on my vision board to purchase, or was it ego, just wanting? I'm personally, I'm getting from my team that that was intuition for you. Okay, whether or not you resonate with that, my love, it is totally up to you. I personally would say that that was your intuition. And one thing that I do want to point out, right, it's not always ego when you want something nice for yourself. Okay? Just because people are spiritual doesn't mean that they have to live below the poverty line or can't have anything nice for themselves. Right? Think about what manifesting is. Most spiritual people believe in manifestation, the law of attraction, and that kind of stuff. Why would that exist, or why would that be a big part of spirituality if you weren't actually allowed to have nice things? Right? Life is meant to be enjoyed. Okay, so if what you enjoy is to get on a boat and like a massive boat and party with your friends and be out in the middle of the ocean, that's not necessarily ego. If you're fulfilling your soul, you know, don't listen to anybody that tells you that you cannot have anything or that you need to, you know, be on bare minimum and all that kind of stuff just because you're spiritual. Want to point that out. Christina, ego is not always bad. It can be a great helper. Yes, that's right. Yep. So we did say that ego is not always bad, but for the most part in our society today, based on what ego is, if we you know, really do consider exactly what ego is, more often than not, it's ineffective to us these days. Renee, thank you. Trusting my intuition for me is harder. I think ego really sucks you in when it's about yourself. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, definitely, definitely. So just a little rundown, guys, before I do head off of what we were talking about today, you know, the differences between ego and intuition. Ego generally stems from basic survival, and we needed it a really long time ago, okay? Our primitive selves needed it. It's not so useful to us today, okay? Like Christina said, it does have its place. It can be useful in protecting us and that kind of stuff. But a lot of the time, it's just ineffective. It's counterproductive to what we want to achieve. Often, ego does not live in the moment, okay? Generally, it lives in the past or in the future. And ego often comes directly after your intuition. It's that second guessing, that doubting. Yeah. And ego also emanates, well, because ego and intuition emanate from different places in your body. Your ego generally comes from the brain, prefrontal cortex. Yeah. Now, intuition only knows how to experience love. Okay, intuition is immediate. Like I said before when we were talking about, when I was doing the rundown on ego, ego tends to come right after intuition, which is instant. Okay, and that's why people tend to question, is because their ego comes in and goes, is that really your intuition or is it not your intuition? The tone of intuition is generally gentle and loving. Okay, so an example that I used before is if you're a little bit jealous of, you know, if you've got a male partner and you're a little bit jealous of a female that's getting close to them. Sorry, I shouldn't have said a little bit jealous. If you've got off feelings about that female, all right, ask yourself what kind of feeling or thought is going through your mind. Is it a fuck, I'm so jealous of her, I just want her to fuck off, she can go die, blah blah blah? That's nasty. That's ego, right? However, if you're coming and going, oh, okay, well, I recognize that I'm feeling a little bit jealous, but and I know that something feels off about this girl here, maybe she is trying to get my man, then, you know, she must be going through pain. That's intuition. That's more gentle. That's more loving. It's not nasty. Yeah? And intuition tends to encourage you to live your best life, to be the best version of you possible. All right? And then directly after that, the ego will step in and go, well, no, you can't do that. Who are you to do that? You know what I mean? right? And then the place in which your intuition generally lives, so where you'll generally feel it, where it generally comes from, is your heart center, okay? Your heart chakra in the middle of your chest. And, you know, I really want to point out here, I'm talking warm and fuzzies, those kind of feelings, all right? If you're having pain in your chest and it's over to the left, please get medical assistance. It's highly likely that you might be having a heart attack, okay? So just want to point that out. I know that seems super dramatic of me to say, but, you know, people can be a bit silly when it comes to things like that. All right, guys. So, like I said earlier or at the start, I'm not sure if any of you heard this, but please do come and join my free soul community on Facebook, Temple of Golden Souls. I've popped a link in the caption which you can access after the live. I also popped a link further up in the comments there. Actually, I'll pop another link in now. Would love for you to come join. This month, every month I do a free group session exclusive to members of that community. And this month we'll be doing a connect to your higher consciousness, all right, which will help with your intuition, which is what we've been talking about today. So if you're interested in that and you're not in the group, get on in the group to access those details. Now, I don't usually provide a replay for those sessions. However, since launching my new subscription options at the start of this month, I will be providing a replay for selected tiers, all right? I believe it's Soul Shifter and upwards, so 33 and upwards. They will have an edited version of the replay. And when I say edited, they get the session, they just don't get the discussion, and they can't see who actually attended the event. All right, so get on in there. If you want to do any one-on-one work with me, head over to my website, goldensouls.com.au. Pop that in here. Hello, Thomas. How are you? Just coming in on the end there. Trying to watch and calm my girls down as they watch the election stuff. Oh, my goodness. I guess I missed her. You did miss everything. You did miss everything. I've been on for a little while now, haven't I? Let's see. How long have I been on for? Nearly 48 minutes. Okay, definitely nowhere near as long as I'm normally on for. Okay, this needs to. But I do have to go so that I can give Chica a shower, get to my next client, and then get to the doctors and stuff like that. You know, busy people. So yeah, feel free to add me as a friend, guys. Make sure that you like the page and have notifications switched on so that you don't miss my next live and that you get a notification from there. I will be back live again tomorrow, unless of course something really odd happens at the doctor, but I highly doubt that. I will give you guys a heads up anyway. Oh, thank you, Summer. You guys, please enjoy the rest of your day or night wherever you are. Thank you to everybody that joined me live. Thank you to anybody watching this on replay. I super appreciate each and every one of you, and I will speak to you very, very soon. Bye for now. Mwah.